name is Jo and this is Jo Sews, and welcome along to my channel. This is the first vlog that I've ever done. I've done some recording and stuff for my work and I'll go into that a bit more later. But I thought I'd just do an introductory video just to kick off this channel and tell you a little bit more about me and about the sort of content that I want to be producing to go up here on YouTube. So I think that the main thrust of this channel is going to be about fabric and about sewing. That's what my passion is. I have been sewing for a while now and I'll go into more detail about that later, but I thought this would be a great place to be able to share with others and also just to document my makes and my process of making. So I imagine we'll be doing fabric hauls and perhaps sew-alongs and sewing plans and discussing things like that as time goes on. So yeah, my name's Jo. I'm 54 at the moment and I live in North Wales. I work as a director of a company. The company I am director of is a social enterprise and it's quite an interesting place. My position is entirely voluntary and I don't get paid for any of what I do. I gave up my initial career of pharmacy maybe 12 years ago now and started doing voluntary work instead, and I haven't looked back really. It's been life-changing in quite a good way for me. So I now direct this company with another 4 members on the board, but the premise of the company is it's a fabric and haberdashery store based in Wrexham, and we sell fabrics, sell haberdashery both in store and online, and also I teach there. I teach sewing classes, so I would teach things like beginners sewing courses. I teach dressmaking courses. For example, coming up I've got a basic introduction to dressmaking class, and then I'm also doing a trouser making class at the same time. So I enjoy doing what I do, and the idea is that the profits that come in from the fabric that we sell and the teaching that I do, we could use that money to enable us to do community projects and get people together. The area I work has got a fair degree of deprivation, but there's also an amazing group of people there, and I don't think they would want to be just described as being in a deprived area. There's some great characters there and some great people there. We run crochet groups, sewing groups, and we're starting a knitting group shortly as well. The place where I work is attached to a cafe, so there's a real community kind of feel. We do work with people with dementia. We see them on a Thursday every 2 weeks. They have a meal and everything, and they do various tasks or have people to speak for them. And so the whole building is overtaken by people with dementia and their carers. So it's a really lovely place to work. It's a really lovely atmosphere. We think it's important to establish a community. People are so often very isolated and lonely, and there's a lot of life issues affecting the people around us, and so we like to offer a place where people can come and find a refuge, and sometimes just gathering people together around a craft that they love or teaching them a craft that they can really get involved with. And obviously sewing and crochet and things like that are quite mindful things to do, and they can do people's mental health an awful lot of good. So not only your own mental health, but the opportunity to chat and converse with others and make friends while you're doing it is a really valuable thing. So that's what I do for a job. I've been sewing probably for about 7 or 8 years, I would say. I had a sewing machine when I got married, and the intention was always to be a bit of a domestic goddess, really, make all the cushions and the curtains and everything. Didn't really happen. I think working full time, found that quite challenging. Didn't really know what I was doing either because nobody had ever taught me. But I did manage to sort of throw together a few sort of World Book Day outfits for my children and things like that. Anyway, about 8 years ago, I used to have really big breasts, and struggled massively to find clothes to fit me. My frame was relatively small, but I just couldn't get things that could do up, or shopping was a real struggle, and I'd often come away crying, and I would cry to my husband, and I'd end up wearing his hoodies and joggers around the house, and I never really felt very sort of put together. So in the end, I think I'd had just one tearful episode of shopping too many, and I'd been watching the Sewing Bee and thought, well, there must be a way for people to work out and learn how to make the clothes for themselves, clothes that fit them. I can be quite obsessive, I think, so I did a really, really deep dive into learning how to sew, because I didn't want to look like I'd thrown the bits of fabric together. I wanted them to look good. So I did a really deep dive and learned how to sew, some beginner patterns with some really good instructions, and some YouTube videos. I still look at YouTube now because there's so much content out there that is really helpful. I do stuff like that, and I'm a sort of person that keeps pushing myself, and so it doesn't matter to me whether a pattern is marked as intermediate. I'll just sit down and take it slowly and have a go, and if it goes wrong, I unpick it and have another go, and eventually I'll get there, and I'll learn so much in the process. And now at this stage where I feel confident enough to teach other people what I've learned. I've since had a breast reduction, and I actually don't need to sew for my own body anymore, but I fell for it hook, line and sinker. I absolutely love sewing. I love what it does for my mind. I love the slow process of producing something beautiful, and I love being able to wear exactly what I want to wear. I think being of a certain age, there's an expectation of what is appropriate for a woman age 50 plus, and I don't agree with any of those rules. I want to wear what I want to wear in the way that I want to, and I want to wear the garments that I want to choose as well. So I will wear florals and I will wear bright colours when I feel it's appropriate for me to do so. And I'm not going to live my life as just wearing beige or whatever for the rest of my life. I love floral prints and I love bright colours, so why not wear what I love? Why not make and wear what I love? So that's me. So that's a little bit about me. I hope you have enjoyed listening to this, and I hope you'll continue. If you want to, please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.